Good evening, everybody. Dirty Dog here. Welcome to another episode of Nonsense. Today, I am doing a first impression slash review of the truck control system by Hori. So you get a huge steering wheel, pedals, shifter slash button box all in one package. I done an unboxing video of it before. I think it was the last video I posted of it. So if you haven't looked at it, check it out. Anyway, I'm just going to go over what I think about it. I have not really used this at all just yet. I've used it about 10 minutes, about 10-20 minutes yesterday, making sure the shift pattern and stuff was, make sure everything actually works. And everything's pretty much programmed, ready to go right out of the box. To get it out of the box to one of these wheel stands or whatever you hook your wheel to, you basically have a power cord that runs from the wall to the steering wheel. You have a power cord cord that runs from the steering wheel to the pedals, and you got a USB cord that runs from the steering wheel to your computer, and a USB cord that runs from your shifter slash button box unit to the computer. And everything's pretty much dummy proof as far as hooking everything up. So everything, it's pretty easy, pretty simple. So anyway, we're going to start down here at the pedals. They're pretty nice. Each pedal has its own, unique feel to it. So it feels nice. I am going to have to adjust these. You got two screws that's underneath this that, bolts up to this. I'm going to have to move it forward or back. I have to drill some holes in this. It's no big deal. Make it work. But it feels nice. It seems like a good quality, pedal set. So we'll see what happens with it. Moving on to the steering wheel. I'm going to start with the turn signal switch. You got your wipers and turn signals, high beams, low beams settings right here. There is a couple things I do not like about this that I think they could have done a better job on. The first one is, let's see if we can get that. I wish the lever was about 2 or 3 inches longer when it sticks out to about right here where my middle finger is, because when you're driving it, you use your middle finger to kind of turn your turn signal on and off, and it's kind of a little too short for me. And also another thing I don't like about it, when you turn your turn signal on, you say like you want to go right, and normally when you turn it on it'll stay on like so, but it goes back, and I'm not a big fan of that. So if you turn it on, you do this, and once you make your turn, you got to do the same function again to turn it off, and the same thing goes, left turn signal as well. You also got your high beams, low beams, forwards, backwards. That should work like that. I forgot to test that yesterday, but pretty cool. I mean, I wish I'd done a better job with that. But anyway, it works. It does the job. Moving on to the steering wheel. You got a 15-inch steering wheel, roughly. It turns like a regular vehicle steering wheel. Instead of doing like about two rotations, you just keep turning and turning and turning like a real vehicle. And I do like that. That's one of the biggest reasons why I purchased this setup, because of that and the actual size of the wheel. There are a couple things I don't like about it, like the little joystick doomahickey thingies. This there and your little keypad. I wish the joystick thing would be like right around here, and your keypad like right here, because if you're using it, you could accidentally be pressing buttons as you're driving down the road, or if you're making tight turns, you got to sit there and palm it or something like that. That's something I'm thinking that might be a problem. I am not sure yet, because I haven't really used it, but that's just foreshadowing. So that could be an issue. Same thing on this side, they could move it in a little bit. but all the buttons and stuff are pretty much pre-programmed. Good thing with this unit is once you get logged into the game, you pretty much don't really need to use your keyboard. Everything you can do in game is pretty much right through all these switches. Don't ask me what they all do yet, because I'm still learning that myself, but they're pretty nice. It does a little bit of this, pretty much everything you need. One function I wish it had on here was, say like you turn the truck on, turn the lights on. It'd be cool if all these buttons would light up like it would in the real vehicles. You know, you got your button box down there. It'd be cool if the switches and stuff would light up, but they do not. So maybe that's something they can do in the future. Oh, right here, this is your controls. Looks like for automatic trucks. I'm not too familiar with automatic trucks because I've never driven one. Hopefully I don't. Not planning on it, but I'm not going to really talk a whole lot about that because I'm not sure how it all works. But it looks like you got, you know, your manual auto shift selectors. Looks like you got an engine brake button, you know. So everything looks like it's supposed to be there from what I've seen in some of the newer trucks we got at our own terminal. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about too much about that because, like I said, I am not super familiar how all that works. But it's pretty neat they included that as well, that way you can drive pretty much anything in the game. Moving on to the shifter. Oops, excuse me here. It's a very nice shifter. It feels comfortable. You know, you can hit all the buttons. It feels nice. It feels like a good quality product. The shift gates, they are a little farther, you know, separated. I'm used to a tighter gearbox. That's something you got to get used to. Same with me. But it feels nice and tight. Also, you can adjust it right here to decide how tight you want it, how loose you want it. So just tinker with it. Pretty cool. Only thing I don't understand is why they made this 7th gear right here. I'm guessing it's a reverse gear. Probably for, you know, other different games. I know in ATS you really don't need that. I'm not sure if that's a function for one of the Euro trucks they got in the game. But it kind of throws me off a little bit because when you go to shift, you know, you go through your H pattern and sometimes you go too far over and you kind of miss your shift. So that's something to kind of watch out for. Also, one thing I'm not a big fan of is the size of this. I wish this was taller and wider because I got, you know, big hands. And I drove an old Ford cab over with a similar style shifter, and it was like twice the size of this. So I'm thinking it just needs to be taller and just bigger. But otherwise, it's nice. Moving on to the button box, you got just about every button you can think of. Oh, and there you got your windows, airbags, you know, front and rear. Right here, you got your power and starter button. To turn the truck on, you press that button first, your power button. Then you hit the starter, and the truck should fire up. To turn it off on my game, you actually have to hit the power button to turn it off. I know it says on here it's start stop, but on my system I have to press that. So what you got looks like a headlight switch. I'm not sure what that one's for. I'm still learning. That's your 5th wheel lock, I guess, for hooking and unhooking trailers. This is your engine brake retarder system, where you can increase it. Say like you go from level 1 to level 2, you press that button. You go from level 2 to level 1, you press that button. Your beacons, you got a tag axle right there on your truck, diff lock. Looks like you got a tag axle for the trailers back here. Got a couple auxiliary switches, if I can speak right, and some other stuff I'm not super familiar with. I guess some of the newer trucks have that my truck does not. So, oh, and also you got your hazards right here and your parking brake, which you can pull or push. I do both. Like if I want to apply the brakes, I pull it out. If I want to release the brakes, I push it in. But either way is fine. That's just what I do. Um, the buttons, they're just about the size of a keyboard. If you look at the buttons on your keyboard, that's about the size of them. Maybe a tad smaller. I do wish they were a tad bit bigger, probably 1.5 times bigger than what they are, because you know I got big hands, so, and fingers and stuff, so it might be a little easier. But yeah, and also the button box, I think it's kind of in a bad spot because you got your shifter in the way. I think, say like if you put this in neutral, say like you got your hand like this laying on top, I'm thinking the button box should be somewhere right around here. That way you can press all the switches as you're driving. Because, you know, when you're driving down the road, you don't have time to sit there and really look at what button's what. So I'm thinking, you know, you have to either go around the shifter or... But I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't used it yet, so it could be a problem. It ain't a problem. It's just something that, you know, something I see it could be. So it'd be kind of cool if it was like right here, or maybe kind of at an angle. So, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. You know, that's just... Oh, when you're using the pedals, I'd recommend, you know, barefoot with socks or house shoes. No outer footwear or outside footwear. That way you have better precision in the pedals. You get better performance, I think. And when you go into the game settings, you may have to adjust your brake tension a little bit, because sometimes it might be a little too high and the truck might want to stop like way too quick. I'll make a video on some of the settings you gotta kind of check. And also with this steering wheel, let me get up here. It's set more like an angle. You know, you got your hand like this. The normal steering wheels, it sits kind of like that. So you may have to have your seat set higher. That way you're sitting above it. Because in the chair last night, I felt like I was riding in the floor, which I do not like. So that's something to consider. I got to test around with that a little bit. Like I said, I got to make a few more adjustments. But overall, I think they've done a very good job. Hori, I think, has done a very good job making a universal control, truck control system for multiple games. Because you can pretty much operate anything with wheels with this system. So, also included is they gave me a free copy of ATS and ETS, which I thought was pretty cool. I don't really need it because I got both games, but that's something I might be able to can raffle off one of these days to somebody. I'm not sure. And another thing I'm kind of concerned about is their warranty or customer service department. I know with Logitech, it's very great because I had an issue with one of my wheels about a year and a half after I started using it, and we had a power outage, and after the power outage it quit working. So after about an hour of testing, after I called their service department, they decided to send me a new wheel out. I know with this company, from reading what I saw in this packet here, there's a piece of paper somewhere. This is your manual, by the way, in like 20 different languages. Once you get this out the way, it says you have about a year warranty. So I am not sure what's going to happen after that. But like I said, this is a video of my first impressions of this without really using it, and I'm planning on making another video about 3 months from now, probably end of the year. It's September now, so probably towards the end of December I'll make another video and see if the problems that I think are problems are actual problems, or if I just got used to it, it's no problem. So I just want to put some miles in with this before I say, oh, it's a pile of garbage, or it's the greatest thing since sliced pizza. So I don't know yet, so we'll see. But the good news is when you plug this in here, it's pretty much ready to go out of the box, except for this. You just gotta fine tune that a little bit. But anyway, I'm not going to bore you to death. That's pretty much all I got to say today. I hope this video is helpful to somebody. Hopefully I didn't make you fall asleep. If I did, great. I guess I helped you sleep a little bit better. I don't know, but it'll be all right. But anyway, I just want to say thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And I will catch you on the next video. Take care, everyone.